一気にね。おーおーおーあと1個頑張れなかなか消えないね。もう一回。
These two ghost hunters were left trembling when they caught something truly bizarre on camera. They'd gone out to explore a bridge in Japan, an infamous spot with a tragic reputation, known for drawing in those ready to log out from life. So yeah, they were already expecting the vibes to be a bit off. Especially after learning that others had been there before, with a few even snapping ghost photos that went viral. But these guys wanted to see it for themselves, hitting up every haunted corner of the site at stupid o'clock. And it all started when they noticed something. They could hear it, clear as day. A woman's voice, singing. High-pitched, distant, and way too real for their liking. They continued on to a few more spots, including one where many visitors have claimed to have seen the spirits of an old man and a young boy hovering around a bus stop and a phone booth. After that, they headed for the real deal, the bridge itself. It could have just been the knowledge that so many people have vanished from the spot, but at a certain point, one of the investigators felt that he couldn't go any further.
前行ってらっしゃい一回。何？切ろう。
ほら今入ったんちゃう？俺動かれへん、こっから今。
一旦引き返すか。
ごめんなさい、一旦引き返します。一人で検証はするんですけど、これ以上ちょっと歩いたら危険な感じがするんで、ちょっと一回引き返します。で、今からですね、とりあえず一人検証やっていきたいと思います。
He says that it felt too dangerous to go any further. Could it be a case of paranoia or something otherworldly drinking him in, like it did everyone else? After spending a bit more time on that segment of the bridge, the pair weren't able to catch anything that really set their hair on end. But as they got back into the car and checked all the evidence they'd gathered, they realised there was one place they hadn't checked out thoroughly enough. A part of a different area of the bridge where only one small portion had had the concrete redone. They knew there had to be something spooky going on over there, so they went and set up shop to record some footage. Which is when the creepiest thing ever happened right next to them.
ちょっと GoPro なんか起きるんじゃないかな。やばい、しんどい。
What the hell was that? While it could have been an animal or a bag of some kind, the way it moves is so human-like. You can even make out knuckles. Maybe it was one of the pair holding onto something on the other side and raising his hand up himself, but that would be basically impossible, because they went to check out the exact area that it happened.
これもう人がおろうにもおられへんから。
There's nowhere for anyone to perch unseen, able to reach their hand up. The thing is practically flat all the way down. So who or what could have been crawling up from the side of the bridge? What do you think? Number 6. Village of the Jinn. There's nothing quite as wild as Jinn hunter videos, is there? But even one of the most experienced in the field was left reaching for his spare pants when he visited a place dubbed the Village of the Jinn by those nearby. It wasn't long after he first stepped foot on the village soil that he was given a very warm welcome.
بسم الله بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم أعوذ بكلمات الله التامات من شر ما خلق بسم الله لا إله إلا الله والله العظيم إن في صوت واحد قاعد يمشي قسما بالله.
It could well be wind moving it all around, but there's no whistling noises at all, so how could that be the case? There's so much stuff left lying around too, and all the items look to be heavy types of furniture. Wind wouldn't be able to throw them around unless they were gale force. Why is there so much abandoned furniture in the middle of the village as well? Did everyone leave here in a hurry? When the guy decided to start checking out the interiors of the houses scattered around, he realised that the activity had started to follow him.
كان موجود مني قسما بالله كفخنا هنا. بسم الله. لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله أعوذ بكلمات الله التامات من شر ما خلق. بسم الله بسم الله بسم الله لا إله إلا الله بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
At this point, he was more than ready for whatever else these jinns could throw at him, literally and figuratively. So he stormed into what looks like a large apartment complex or office building and began to sort through all of the rooms. But he might have walked straight into a trap.
بسم الله لا 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 يا جماعة لا حول
There's a few possibilities here, most of them terrifying. Number one is that he had a friend hiding off camera to come and slam the door and hold it shut. But surely we would have seen some glimmer of another person while he was exploring, right? Number two is that the jinns lured him into that building and locked him in. And number three is that a stranger could have been lurking in the building and locked him in that room themselves. The rest of the video is spent with him desperately trying to break out of the room. And you can tell that he's really giving it his all. Eventually he realises that the door just isn't opening and that he's going to have to figure a way to shimmy from the high floor he was on back down to the ground.
إله إلا الله أعوذ بكلمات الله التامات من شر ما خلق. يا جماعة استودعوني يا الله يا الله. بسم الله. لا خلاص يا جماعة. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
The question here is, why would he deliberately put himself in so much danger getting out of that building just to film a Snapchat video? He'd already caught some pretty spooky footage, so why would he do this? Could he really have been hounded by jinns in the video? And if the window weren't open, they would have soon descended? Who knows? A poltergeist told me that you enjoy scary videos like this, but don't subscribe just yet. We'll earn your subscription by the end of this scary compilation. Number 5. Riding Solo. The man who once lived inside the home that this footage came from sadly took his last breath a few days before it was filmed. He was an avid biker, taking great care of his motorcycles. His family by then had not had the heart nor the time to do anything with the vehicles, and they realised that they might not be able to at all when they saw this footage on the security camera that he'd once put up to protect his property. The guy's family heard the commotion and went to check the cameras, only to be confronted with what they believed to be his spirit coming back to try and take his bike for one last ride. While sometimes bikes can malfunction and start by themselves, how are the handles moving as though someone were turning them round? Do you think that this is the spirit of a biker trying to get his knee to the ground one final time? Or could there be a more electrical explanation for this clip? Number 4. Planning permission. This video was captured in Battambang, Cambodia. A trio of seasoned paranormal pros had been tipped off on the whereabouts of an abandoned house left to ruin after the man who built it had fled in the dead of night years ago. Everyone was left scratching their heads at this, because the man had spent so long building his dream home. But after a while, the horrific truth came pouring out. The house hadn't been built on any kind of land, oh no. It had been built directly on the crude grave given to a group of people who took their last breaths right where the house now stands. The landlord apparently saw the bones and that didn't stop him from wanting to get to work, so he basically built the house on top of them. Naturally, you'd be pretty annoyed if that were you. So by the looks of it, the spirits of those people tormented him until he could take it no more. But what could they have done to make him flee so quickly? Well, that's just what these guys went there to find out. They spent a lot of their time attempting to make gentle contact with the spirits, but no amount of incense sticks and quiet requests could have prepared them for what happened when they headed around the back of the house to try and get inside.
bà dừng chọn đang ta đâu tí nút dừng ai nâng bật tiền vậy bông chi lái này đang tao thế đó tao thế đó bà tao thế này bông ní con anh chơi tôi bông cho này đi cái đá đi nè nó này mấy cái này
What on earth is that? The face doesn't move at all aside from appearing and then suddenly disappearing, but where would it have come from? We know there's nobody else inside, unless they went in and hid before, but how could they have just vanished into thin air like that? After they all managed to pull themselves together, one madman decided to go in there and check it out. But that's when things started getting super weird.
Lấy nhung xong pel mùi nửa tí xong ra ca bông smart nơi cái lại nắng bông trôi trong bọc úi hay ở thu đó bông mình nhung thưa ca bật pel nè này mà lâu bông ở thu tới hay bông tôi trôi trong cái đá tét đó bông bà tôi trôi trong cái đá tét hay nhung xua ấy bông mẹ rom mấy bông prap nam nâng đó bông ta là nhung chua lại bà nè mơ khơi trong so cả đá bà chua trong lại nâng nè hay á bông ok ta ở đây chân nhung xong bật phơ đấy bà nơi trong so cả lão trong so cả đá thêm đâu ta ok ở đây mình nhung xong bật phơ tích nhá bà bông mẹ đó mày đây mấy bông mấy chụp hai bông cho bà xuân gì dương ai đâu bà to ba này on bó này bá oh no bông chop nhưng mà lấy sẽ nơi lại mình phải lẹ đẹp món chân kia ở đâu dương nấu rồi thôi xa cái đẹp cái nấu xong kia dương xong thọt cho nó thả nó bột khơi xong ở kia vào hai bà đấy bà xin chìm miếng á
Why doesn't he come out? And what are those loud crashing sounds from inside?
Oh no. Chop.
It could be him, but if it is, why isn't he saying anything? Eventually he does come out, we see him at the end of the video, but what the hell went on in there? And what was that face? Do you think this could be one of the spirits who once scared off the previous owner, ensuring that the place stays empty? Or could it be something else? Leave your theories down below. Number 3. Master of Puppets. Attic rooms have always been considered strange, eerie places, which is why Zan started to get so fretful after they began hearing strange noises in the attic. The worst part? The door to this mysterious attic is right inside their room. After listening to strange rustling for a good few weeks and being unable to shake the feeling that it wasn't something more sinister than a small animal, they headed up to check it out. But they found something that just left them and their viewers scratching their heads.
I'm pretty confident that a human is not up here, at least. I don't know why it's taking me so long to see this white sheet thing in front of me. I am so ready to wrap it up and get the hell out of Dodge until, finally, I notice something. What the fuck is that? Who is this diva? It's just a gremlin toy. It's obviously a puppet. Wait, I think this is a puppet. Thank God. I cannot believe the mint condition this guy's in. Honestly, I'm quite drawn to it. I'm gonna see if I can see anything else real quick before I get the fuck out of here. The fact that this is all just around the opening of the latch should be more concerning to me, but I have no self-awareness. Wait. Why did I not see this? It was right beside me. You're pulling my fucking leg, right? At first I thought it was like a rat mask. It's a pig. What the fuck is going on in here on this day? There's no one up here. I can't hear anything up here, just the traffic. I'm gonna close this shit up and lock it. And I'm keeping my new findings because, you know what, they're kind of cute. Just inhaled fiberglass or something, Jesus Christ.
It couldn't have been anything creepier, could it? Who leaves a weird puppet on its own in a loft? For some reason, unbeknownst to us, they decided to keep the puppet. But this is where things start getting a bit weird. They started using this puppet for content, specifically to promote their new song. This does cast a bit of doubt on the whole validity of the case. It could possibly be a huge PR stunt, perhaps leading up to an album drop. But even then, you can't be sure, because after a few of their attic videos went viral, they made another video, seemingly sick of the attention it was gathering. Could it all be a cunning double bluff? It would be a really cool stunt, but if it isn't a stunt, that's a super creepy thing to just find stored above your house. And it raises another terrifying possibility. Check out the first video they posted that started off this string of events.
I was just wondering, what the f are you meant to do if you think that there is a person in your attic? Hypothetically speaking. I feel like I am losing my marbles. I really feel like I'm losing every night for the last week. Without fail, between the hours of like 10 and midnight, there is a banging coming from my ceiling. It's not neighbors because I'm in terraced housing. I only hear shit side to side. And on top of all that, there's an attic door in my room. Here she is, isn't she diva? Hi, gorgeous. I have never been in that space, so I don't know whether it's like an entire attic, whether it's a fucking crawl space. I don't know. It's 8:30 p.m. I'm gonna come back up here at 10 and record it so you can hear it for yourself. So you know that I'm not going fucking crazy.
1 hour and a half later.
It's showtime, baby.
Hello.
I'm not alone, at least. Now we wait. Maybe we won't have to wait for that long. I fucking told you, listen to the show. What the fuck is that? Lily got creeped out and came downstairs, so I followed. I'm so sick of this. It's past the point where it's creeping me out. It's just annoying the fuck out of me. I'm just gonna go up there tomorrow and investigate what it is in the daytime. Not now, while it's active. I might look stupid, but I'm not that stupid. I watch horror movies. Anyway, I'll give you an update tomorrow. Bye.
The noises could easily be shrugged off as that of a bat or some other kind of small animal, or even just old, creaky house noises. Those last 3 knocks, though, they sound just a little bit too precise.
What is that?
The thing to be worried about here is frogging, spelt with a PH rather than an F. It's becoming something of a trend, with communities online dedicating their time to frogging. If you're not sure what that is, it is literally people getting off on the adrenaline of living in your house without you knowing. Could that be what happened here? Someone either left the puppet behind accidentally or as some kind of statement? Or could Zand be building up for some great album promo? Whatever's happening, you'll have to keep your eye out to see if the story develops. Number 2. Warehouse woes. On a list of creepy liminal spaces most likely to be full to the brim of nightmarish creatures, warehouses are pretty high up there, especially when they're full of coffins and mariachi skeletons. That's where this guy found himself while investigating a weird noise that he'd heard down there while working in a connected building. He was expecting to see some materials on the floor that had toppled over or something normal like that, but he soon realised that something much, much creepier was lurking down there.
Raza, estoy acomodando estas tablitas aquí, pero ya tiene rato que se escucha algo allá al fondo. Allí está un maniquí, son una lata, pero es un ruido muy extraño. Mira, 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 ¿sí lo vieron? Ok. Mira, se asoma una sombra, pero se mete. Mira, mira. Ay, hijo de su puta madre. Pero se me enchina la piel. Y es que ya tiene rato. Y es que ya tiene rato. Bueno, como sea, va a quedar. Y es que guachen aquí. No hay flash. No pasa nada. Mira, estas son las estatuas, te digo. Pero se asomaba de ahí. Mira, no hay nadie.
As if those sombrero-wearing skeletons aren't creepy enough, they appear to have a friend. The weirdest thing about this video isn't even the contents of the warehouse. When the guy goes to chase the shadow that was peeking from behind the wall, the second he steps foot near the area, his camera looks like it starts to glitch. It was working fine before he went shadow hunting, so what happened? It's pretty popularly discussed that spirits can interfere with technology in some ways. Could that be what happened here? Or was it some kind of prank pulled on him by a co-worker and his phone started to die as he was recording? What do you think?
Okay. Mira, se asoma una sombra, pero se mete.
Number 1. Total knockout. The spooky CCTV footage we're about to show you captured one of the most terrifyingly confusing moments of this poor dude's life. He was just trying to get on with his day at the office, and taking the stairs to all the other floors was 10 times quicker than using the lift. But as he went to jog down another flight, something unbelievable happened. Take a look. The shadow lunges at him from the wall, so where the hell could it have actually come from? While he could have just thrown himself backwards and edited the footage to make it look like a shadow figure had clotheslined him, why would he flail around in such a dangerous place? We've heard enough stories about how dangerous falling down the stairs can be, no matter how old you are. There's not much backstory to this clip, it's just a random stairwell in some office block, and the guy who got knocked down was just another worker trying to get through his day. But here's the creepy part. As that shadow moves, it makes you wonder, what if it's not just this stairwell? What if shadow bastards aren't just tricks of light, but something alive? Something watching you, waiting for the perfect moment to turn your day into a living nightmare? This creepy ass footage might just be a sneak peek into something way more sinister. Something that doesn't stop at stairwells, but could be literally anywhere, anytime. Let that sink in.
His brother's party hat, but somehow the elastic string passes straight through his neck to a complete stop. It isn't a camera glitch because everyone around her is still moving perfectly normally, while she looks empty. And his teammate did not make any contact with him. The ball clearly didn't leave Green's hands at all.